Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi. Welcome to a new week on TorahAnytime.com. We're getting to about 200 different shiurim. Now this week is Parshas Shlach. That's the famous Parsha of the Meraglim, those people who became traitors to Eretz Yisrael. And it's about the Mapilim, the stubborn, super religious, out of Torah religious extremists who wanted to get Eretz Yisrael without Moshe's blessing, without HaKadosh Baruch Hu's blessing. Let's talk about the Meraglim, the traitors to the Jewish cause, who said, let's go back to Mitzrayim. They wanted to stone Caleb and Yeshua, and they don't need their own country. They want to live a Golus mentality in Mitzrayim. And then terrible punishment happened to them, the worst punishment in the world. And we're going to have to wonder why, if you talk Lashon Hara against Eretz Yisrael, why didn't they get Saras? No, they didn't. And Korach next week spoke against Moshe. Why didn't he get Saras? And then came the Mapilim, the super religious, not religious extremists who want Eretz Yisrael without Moshe's blessing, without Hashem. The Meraglim are traitors, and the Mapilim are super nationalists without Torah. Let's take a look at Revi'i in the Parsha of Shlach. So they came back and they said, we can't take it, there are giants there, we can't take the country, there are giants there, and then the Chazal tell us how big were they. These Anakim, 48 feet. 24 amas, 48 feet. How do you know? Because they were 4 times the size of Goliath. And Goliath was 12 feet. 6 amas. And Goliath was a double of a regular person, 3 amas, which is 6 feet. And Goliath was 12 feet, 6 amas. And these people were 4 times Goliath. 24 amas, 48 feet. If you go to Hebron and Eretz Yisrael and you get the right tour guide, it will bring you to the cave, the Ma'orat Shel HaGiborim, the Anakim. It's 75 feet tall, the caves, smooth, big as this whole house. The cave, maybe bigger, 3 times as big as this house. Smooth inside, obviously people live there, smoothed out, and it comes to a cone, and on top is open air. That's where the smoke went out. And at about 45 feet, they have inscriptions in the wall of little children they used to sacrifice to their gods. So they build the cone that where they live, these big conical round buildings, smooth walls, where the giants used to live, and near Hebron, where Abram lived, down there. If you know what I'm talking about, you go with a good tour guide. He'll tell you, not what the Department of Antiquities wants to tell you, that there was something here once, some kind of a museum or some kind of animals lived here. No, the Giborim lived there. And I was in that cave. 70 feet, 80 feet up is an opening where the smoke goes out, and 45, 50 feet up was some engravings in the wall where they used to sacrifice children. You go with a real tour guide who knows Tanakh. He'll tell you the truth. Down in Kiryas Arba near Hebron. I go with the best tour guide in Israel. His name is Yehuda, Dr. Yehuda Borer. He knows everything. He's the senior tour guide of Israel. He's getting older, a little bit older. He's the most knowledgeable tour guide in Israel. Yeah, he's not going to take you to the fun places where the teenagers want to go. He's for intellectuals. Dr. Yehuda Borer, he wrote a book on the geography of Eretz Yisrael. He lives in Bethel. I was in his house. He's a friend of mine. Dr. Rabbi Yehuda Borer, he studied in New York, in Yeshiva in New York. He's a good friend of mine. Anyhow, he knows about the geography of the country. Let's go to Revi'i. V'yidaber Hashem el Moshe v'el Aaron lemor. Ad Mosai, until when? La'edo harozos. Do I have to tolerate this wicked community? Edo means at least 10 people. That's the 10 of the 12 Meraglim who defected and became traitors. They didn't say anything bad about Eretz Yisrael, so everything was true. Giants there, true. Didn't say any sheker, but they worded it in such a way that they said we can't capture them. We can't take their country. They're giants. It's the land that flows with milk and honey, but we're not able of doing it. Nor is Hashem able. Because they said there are chazak mimanu. They're stronger than we are. But they meant to say, Chazal tell us, mimanu is above with a dot. They really meant above with a cholam. Mimano, they're stronger than he is. Chazal say that Hashem even can't get them out of there. That's kfirah in Hashem. At Mosai, at how long, le'eda, this community of 10, because that we have a proof that Adas is always 10, minimum, 10 of the 12. Le'eda harazos, this wicked group. Asher heimum alidin roi, they complaining against me. They're complaining, they made the 12 Nisim attack me. And they got the Roshei Sanhedrios against me. Every single person was against me and Moshe. No one stood up for Moshe, not even the Leviim. The Leviim didn't do the Egel, but the Leviim did the Meraglim, the Ched of Meraglim, the Sanhedrios. Only one normal was Kalev and Yoshua. And they said, Yoshua, Kalev, Yoshua said, no, we can take the country, we can wipe them out, Lachmeinu, our bread will eat them up, they're nothing, there's no problem. So the people thought Yeshua and Kalev, they're insane. They're leading the Jewish people into Makom Sakana. And they're going to, if they follow Yeshua and Kalev, you're going to get wiped out. They were ready to stone Yeshua and Kalev. Go back a few Pesukim, Yomer, Kalev, Lir Gom. Oh, son, we have to stone these two Meshuganas. They're crazy people. Yeshua and Kalev, they say we can fight against giants. But Avanim, they wanted to stone them with the Avanim. At that moment, something happened. Only 4 times in the Torah says that. Chvod Hashem nira b'ohel moed. El kol Yisrael. A cloud came down, and everybody froze. The only 2 people that were sane was Yeshua and Kalev. Everybody else was insane. How do you know? Because God made the people die out. 600, 3,550. Everyone died in the next 40 years. Every man between 20 and 60. Not the women. The Kli Yakar says if Moshe would have sent women as Meraglim, they would never have talked to Lashon Hara. Because women love Eretz Yisrael more than the men. How do you know? Because when Miriam came out of Mitzrayim with her friends and they crossed the Yam Suf, they already took tambourines with them. They knew God would make it nice. And they brought tambourines with them. And they sang the Shira again. And the men heard it. There was no Kol Isha Erva because, first of all, when more than one woman sings, it's not Kol Isha Erva. And it's only one, Kol Isha Magnoshim. And number 2, they were a madreg of men. Because it says over there in the Shira, in Shemos, in B'Shalach, it says there, Matan Lohem, they answered her, but Lashon Zohar, they were on the madreg of Ruach HaKodesh, there was no erva. Miriam was on the madreg of a man, there was no erva. And they had total trust on the Kodesh Baruch Hu that the miracle would happen. The men did not trust as much as the women. It says when they saw the dead Egyptians, then by Yaminu Hashem HaMoshavdu. But the women knew it before they left Mitzrayim. It doesn't say Bishul Noshim Sidkanios Nigalu Avasainim in Mitzrayim because of the women. So the Kli Yakar said, if they would have sent women or Ragnar, they would never have talked Lashon Hara. That's one proof I just gave you. Second proof is the right hand side, the east bank, there was 2.5 Shvatim. Reuven, Gad, Chatzi, Shevet, Menashe. They had their own country. They had so much cattle from way up from Hermon all the way down to Eilat. 150 miles. I don't know how wide it was. They had their own country, 2.5 Shvatim, because they had hundreds of thousands of cattle, sheep, and goats. So that excuse about not having meat, that was an excuse for arayos. Meat is a code word for arayos. Hashem said, okay, I'll give you a slug. And before they shoot it, they choked to death, as it says in this week's Parshas. Last week. And to prove that, the second proof, the women love Eretz Yisrael more, because the 2.5 Shvatim, one of them was Menashe. And the daughters of Zelovchad were from Menashe. And they say we're not happy enough with half of Menashe over there. We want the other half inside the Eretz HaKadosha. On the right-hand side of the Yarden, the Moab, which is called Jordan, that is Eretz Yisrael, but it's not Eretz HaKanan. Moshe died in Eretz Yisrael, but he didn't die in Eretz Canaan, between the Yarden and and the Mediterranean and the Yam. That's higher Kedusha. That's the Yam, Eretz HaKanani, the land, Eretz Ha'ores. That's holier than the East Bank. They want a chelik there too. And Moshe said, well, sorry, women can't inherit. He said, my father Shlach was the only Yid who came out of Mitzrayim. He didn't have sons. And we are his 5 daughters, and we think Hashem should give us. And Hashem came to Moshe and says, they're right, you're wrong. Now you're wrong. They're right, give them. That's the exception. That's how much they love their Yisrael. You know why the daughters of Shlach survived, and their father Shlach perished? Because Vayapilu, they were stubborn, super religious, out of halacha type of from Eden. Vayapilu, the stubborn ones who we're going with Eretz Yisrael without you, without the Torah, we don't care. The super nationalists, they would love Eretz Yisrael without Torah, without halacha. Vayapilu, Gematri Tzolachad. He was the head of them. He loved Eretz Yisrael Tzolachad. Lo al pi halacha. That's why he died. The daughters loved Eretz Yisrael, and they asked Moshe and Shala. They survived. He died. They survived. The whole family loved Eretz Yisrael. Tzolachad loved it the wrong way. That's why he perished. The daughters loved it the right way. That's why they survived. You got to love Eretz Yisrael al pi halacha, not with pig-headed stubbornness. They said, we're going up. We're so sorry for yesterday. We were so sorry. We were weak. Never again. We're going to take Eretz Yisrael as our country. But Moshe says, now it's too late. You blew it yesterday. Today, Hashem is not with you. You're going to fail. You're going to get slaughtered. You're going to get decimated. And they got slaughtered and decimated. And he said, the Oren is not going with you. The Shechin is not going with you. You're on your own. What kind of religion is that when you have this fierce religious nationalism outside of halacha? We have it today. We have it today. The Meraglim were like traders, like the Reform, like the Baisusim, Karonim, Karoim, Sedukim, Yiddishists, and Jewish communists. All those people who don't really want Eretz Yisrael. And then you got the Meraglim, the super religious nutcases, who are not api halacha. They want Eretz Yisrael without Torah, without Kedusha, without Kahuna, without Beis HaMikdash, without Kahuna, without Malchus, without anything. You have to have it exactly the way it's supposed to be. No changes, no improvements. How long? These 10 of the 12, those 10, are they going to annoy me? They're complaining against me. El Telunos B'nai Yisrael, and they brought their complaints to the B'nai Yisrael. They're against me too. They even got the Yudei Nisim against me. Shemati, I heard all of it. Emor Aleim, tell them. Chayoni, I swear, as I live. Nu'um Hashem, tell them these words. Imlo kashe dibartem, if it's not going to be exactly like you said. V'oznai, in my ears, you said, if we go there, it's Yisrael, our kids will be wiped out, and our wives and our children and our cattle. There's no future there. Cain asked Elohim, what you thought is going to happen to the children, I'm going to do to you. I'm going to do exactly what you said. Exactly 180 degrees opposite. You die, they'll live. 180 degrees reverse. Exactly what you said is going to happen, except the reverse. In this desert, your corpses will fall. Peger is a corpse. You realize Pei, Gimel, Reish, you know what happens to a corpse? If you're just a corpse, so you don't have a holy neshama. Pei, Gimel, Reish. Gimel, Reish, Pei. Geref. It'll turn into Geref, manure. Some people living corpses. Rishoyim v'chayim nikroim mesim. Or you're living, but you're dead. Yiplu b'greichem ba'al b'chol b'kudeichem, and all your counted ones. B'chol mispartim, of the total amount of every shade, who happens to be ben Essen Shana older than 20, v'mol and higher, shechalinosem aloi, and you complain against me, you're going to die. You're going to pager. That's not Yiddish. You're going to pager. It's not a nice thing. Tzaddikim don't pager. They die. Mace, Tom, it's over, finished, it's complete. But Pigreichem, your corpses, it's a very bad thing. It says in Pirkei Avos, they're dead, done, gone, finished. And they started out princes, top people, from everything to nothing. That is if you're a kafir in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You think Hashem is not capable to do what he spoke to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And to you, and to Moshe. He's not able to do that. Oh, im atem tovo, you're not going to come. Im doesn't mean here, if means, ein mutar, aleph mem, you're not going to see the country. Im atem tovo, you'll never come to the country. Hashem osis, the sosi is yodi, that I picked up my hand. It means I swore. L'shachem eschambam, to bring you there, but you won't see it. I swore, but you messed it up by doing an achet, therefore you're not going to see it. Ki im kol ben Yefuna, only kol ben Yefuna. And he was older than 20, and he's not going to die. And you're older than 20, you're going to die. Nobody's going to see it. Kim kol ben Yefuna b'shua ben Nun. Kol ben Yefuna, because he comes from Yehuda, Malchus. They're made of different stuff. And Yeshua ben Nun, Moshe blessed him. And number 2, he comes from Yosef, Malchus. And Kol ben Yefuna is Yehuda, is also Malchus. And Yeshua ben Nun did not defect. Because Hashem Moshe gave him a bracha. Ko Hoshi Achlam Atzos Meraglim. From Hosea became Yehoshua, God's name. And Kol ben Yefuna had an extra thing going for him because he was from Yehuda, and Malchus, they have self-respect. And Kolev also had a moment of doubt. Ruach Acheres Hoyebo. He was thinking, maybe I'm going to go with the majority. Ruach Acheres. He had a 50-50. Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Ra. He finally made the right decision. He and Yeshua are sane. All the other people are insane. Because they all pagan. And he didn't. 603,550 people died in the Midbar. All men between 20 and 60. If you got out of Mitzrayim older than 60, you made it. If you got out of Mitzrayim younger than 20, you made it. No one came there, as you saw, between the age of 59 and 100. From 60 to 100, nobody came in. Only from 0 to 59. And 101 and older. That was something happened to Klal Yisrael. They became bewitched, lost their emunah, even though they saw the mountain Har Sinai on top of them shaking, and even they saw Kriyas Yamsuf, even they saw the 10 Makos, and they saw man coming down every morning, and water following them. This is already a year into the Midbar. What happened to Klal Yisrael from the peak to the lowest criminal? What happened? It's possible that a human being can reach a very high peak and then fall to the ground. You have to watch yourself every day. You have to learn Musar every single day. 1 page of Musar every day. Otherwise, you can learn all the Torah and all the Shas and all the Paskim and go to the shul and daven and wear 2 pairs of tefillin. And if you don't have emunah, something will happen in Jewish history that will shake you to your core. Something happened 63 years ago in Jewish history. Shook most people to their core. Almost everybody was fakishut, was enchanted. Our government in Eretz Yisrael, the founders did not believe in God. Because in the Declaration of Independence, their declaration, God's name does not appear. They had a fight on that Friday for a half an hour to put in God's name. They said no. BG said no. We don't believe in him. In the Declaration of Independence of the United States, 4 times God's name. Divine Master, Creator of the whole mankind, the Creator of heaven, God of heaven. 4 times. Here no. Because BG was an atheist. This is the Jewish government. They were anti-Torah. Now they're probably just non-Torah. There's some anti. Much better. BG said in the beginning, there were only 2 people there, in the Knesset, 120 people. You need 61 to have a majority. There were two, I think 2 or 3, who were Haredi. He said, don't worry, one generation will be all gone. It's 50 now! Or more. We are not going away. And the Chilonim are terrified. It's either us or the Muslims take over. And they're afraid of Malchus Shemayim. So when that incident happened 63 years ago, some saw it as a wonderful nace, and it was. Some saw it as a Marido Keneged Malchus Shemayim. It was that also. 63 years later, thousands of Jews have been killed. So you say, well, protect their homeland, that costs life. I'm telling you both sides of the story. I'm not blinded to the other side. I understand the chesed goes on in Eretz Yisrael. No country can match them. The brilliance, the brain power. The cell phone was invented there. Thousands of inventions, the smartest people in the world. Chesed, even the biggest Chilonis, when you get, I know, I've dealt with them, to the biggest tzaddikim in the world. But it's a little bit Marida Keneged Malchus Shemayim. It can't continue like this. It must be, when Melech HaMashiach comes, that goes completely. We hope no one gets hurt in the process. Malchus Shemayim is not a democracy. It's a monarchy. One man, based on the theocracy. One Torah. Democracy is great for Goyim. There's no government of the people, by the people, for the people. That's for Goyim. There's no free speech allowed. That's Lashon Hara. No free press. You can't be at liberty to do your own thing. There won't be any gay parades. You can believe it. Anywhere in Eretz Yisrael. Because there will be nobody in Eretz Yisrael. You can be Jews there. You can be Yidden, not so from, yes so from. Everyone has to be marked about Olam. Every guy has to can be in Eretz Yisrael if you're a Ger Toshav, only if you have to mark about Olam. No other religion tolerated. Zero tolerance. That's the world we're waiting for. When people come back to sanity. That's what Hashem wants. That's what it was under David and Shlomo. I know they had sorrows. We know all about that. Nothing. There was never a rose garden until Mashiach comes. That is going to stop. Everything that was up to the last 5,771 years. We hope it happens this year. That a dramatic change. All mankind will love each other. You don't have to learn Torah all day long. Ha'olam kamin haganohu, the Rambam said. The world will stay the same way. The tigers will eat the sheep, and that snake eats the mice. That's just a mashal, that medrash there. That means everything will be natural. People will love each other. The Yetzer Hara will be destroyed. No, not true. Ha'olam kamin haganohu. You'll have a Yetzer Hara, yeah. But it won't be Yetzer Hara to do Haveira. It's to do a bigger mitzvah, or even a bigger mitzvah. It's like a person, he has free choice when he's on top of a building to jump 50 floors down to the sidewalk, or not. But he understands the consequence, so he doesn't jump. He understands. Your Yetzer Hara will be so developed, you'll either say, should I learn today 12 hours or only 9 hours? Should I do this chesed and this mitzvah, or not those 10 mitzvahs? I do these 4 mitzvahs. Aveiros? No one would even think about that. If you are educated in health food, would you eat the wrong food if you know better? Of course not. Everyone will be so aware of the Boer Olam, the knowledge will cover the world like the ocean covers the world. All right, we're not talking about that. Let's finish the Parshas. Only Kol ben Yivun Yeshua ben Nun Metapichem and your children, Asher Martin, that you said, Levaz, here they're going to come to nothing. The Hebesi or some hunger bring them. Not you. The Yodu is Ha'aretz not going to get to know the land. Asher Atem Astivot that you despise. Upigreichem and your corpses. Atem that you're living corpses. Interesting. Upigreichem Atem. You're walking around, but you're Shoyim B'chayim Nikor Mason. This is the worst thing which you did. Talk Lashon Hara against Eretz Yisrael. Something that the world's waiting for thousands of years. A promise of it, and you despise that. This is worse than Avodah Zarah. And again, than Ge'egel, because you're not makir tov. You don't want to thank me. Like every country, people have their own country. You don't want your own country. You're going to fall as a corpse. But Midbar say you're going to fall in this midbar. So Chaim HaKadosh says Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron also not going to make it for totally different reasons, because he hit the rock, and Aaron also was his rod. He didn't take it back from Moshe. He was blamed for hitting at the Mei HaMerivo, the water. When they argued against Moshe, we have in the water. Moshe hit the rock after he was not supposed to. Even they will be in this midbar. Where's it hint to do with the word Atem? Aleph, Aaron. Last letter, Mem, Moshe. And tough Thomas, you'll die. But Midbazel, Benechem, Roim, and your children will be wanderers, roamers. But Midbar Aboim Shono, they're 40 years in this Midbar. But also Zenu Sechem, they will bear Zenu Sechem, their prostitution, their infidelity, their non-loyalty to me, like a zone, is not loyal to anybody. Ad Tom, until they die. Tom, May, same word, till they finish. Your corpses will die here. 603,550 people will die here. And when they came out of Eretz in the Midbar, they had almost the exact same number. So you see, there must have been a tremendous birth rate. They had 601,730. So the difference between 603,550 and 601,730 is 1820. I told you a week ago what that 1820 meant, that famous number, 1820. There are 1820 less after 40 years, after so many people died, over 500,000 people died. Almost the same number. That's pretty good. That's why it's called Midbar Paran, where they where they increased. But Mispar Hayomim, exactly the amount of days, Asher Taratim Azoras, that you toured, Taratim, tourist, you toured the land. I boyim yom 40 days. By the way, in this Pasha Meraglim, there's never the word Meraglim, because they weren't sneaking around like spies. They went the regular, dressed like everybody else. They were undercover agents. You see people walking around today, you don't know who's spies. They were not, there's not one word in Meraglim, in the Pasha Meraglim. So they went very open. When the Haftorah of this week said, when they send Yeshua, send the two Meraglim sneaking around at night and going into Rachav's home and then being covered up by the bundle of wheat there, that's a spy. That's a Meraglim. There it says Meraglim. Here it says not those Meraglim. And in the Parshas of Sota, there's, 30, 40 Pesukim, there's not a word of the word Sota is never mentioned. And the Parshas of Shemitah, 30, 40 Pesukim, after the 7th year, there's never a word Shemitah. I told you this weeks ago. If you listen to Kol Halashon, you hear this. Sota, because Sota is 80. Take away the 0, Mispakot is 8. Let's say she's a Sota, cheaters on her husband, and no one knows about it. The whole thing in the Torah was not going to happen because no one knows about it. And she cheated. She's going to have Koresh, and her future is destroyed because Sota is 80. Mispakot is 8. She has no 8 future. Future is always 8. 8's always lost a level. Infinity is an 8 sign too. It's turned sideways, like an 8. And Shemitah is 354. Which means God only brings a Shemitah year and a year that doesn't have a leap year. It doesn't have 354 plus a month more, 30 days. 384. It's only 354. They'll never bring it in a year that is a leap year. Shana Muberet. Never. 2 years ago it was a Shana Muberet and it was a leap year. And it was Shemitah. Sure, we had a fixed calendar and a luach, printed in the calendar, a luach, a fixed thing for the last 1,800 years. Since Hillel Hazok came, we had this fixed thing. It was not up to Bezdin. In the olden times, Bezdin decides every year if it should be a leap year, it should not, that this month be 30 days, 29 days. That was arbitrary. They never would make it in a Shemitah year, 13 months. Because it's too much for the farmers. 12 and a half months is bad enough. They decided when it should be Ador Sheni, and when the ground is too muddy, so that people are not going to be Ola Regal to Pesach. Give them another month. And if the wheat is not fully developed, give them another month, because when they come here, they can't cut down chita for matzahs. Give them another month. Why would the ground be muddy once in a while? Because the solar calendar is 365 days, and the lunar is 354. That's 11 days difference, And the Jewish holidays must follow the seasons. And the lunar calendar doesn't have nothing to do with seasons. So therefore we're off sync by 11 days. And after 3 years we're off by 33 days. You're a month behind. You got to put in another month every 3 years. Sometimes every 2 years. So that was all arbitrary. Now it's a fixed calendar. Of course 2 years ago in 2009 it was Tafshin Samech Tes, I think. They had Ashana Uberis, and it had a leap year with 13 months. Can you imagine how hard it was for the farmer? Boim Yom. So you were there, you toured the land 40 days. Yom Lashana, a day for a year. Yom Lashana, a day for a year. Tisu es abom zeh. You're going to carry your sins for 40 years now. Boim Shana, 40 years. V'yadatem es tunosi. You're going to get to know my movements, my strategy. Now let's stop for a minute. We've said this since we're little kids. Yom Lashana, Yom Lashana. A day for a year, a day for a year. It's backwards. It's not a day for a year. It's a year for a day. Why does the Torah talk like this? Yom Lashana? Shana L'Yom. If you don't ask this question, you're not learning Chumash, you're just reading, you don't even know what's going on to your brain. Yom Lashana, Shana L'Yom it should be. If you don't stop at this, you're not learning Torah, you're reading. When your mother said the whole thing in 45 minutes, you think you know anything? My father, and that's what I do, said, on Sunday you learn Rishon for an hour and a half or 2 hours. On Monday you learn Sheni. On Wednesday, Tuesday you learn Shlishi. Friday you learn Shishi. Shabbos you learn Shvi. You can't do it all in 15 minutes. You get nothing out of it. This is the blueprint of the world. Every word is loaded. Every letter is packed with information. Every single letter has another meaning. That's why it says Yisrael, Yes, Shishem, Riba, Osius, La Torah. There's 600,000 letters in the Torah. Not true, there's 300,004. Means every single letter has another meaning. Every word, every sentence is so deep. This is the blueprint of the world. How could you go through this like that? You don't go through Gemara like that till you understand it. So how you can learn all this here, learn Blafiomi, learn Halach and go to work? Get up early. I go to a place where the people there 5:30. Yeah, with ties and jackets. Professional people who don't take money. They give money to tzedakah. They learn every night 10 to 12. Every morning 5 to 7. They're learning hard. They don't read stupid magazines and watch internet. They're busy. They're Talmidei Chachamim, professional doctors and lawyers and real B'nai Torah. Really long who can teach you a black Gemara. Even Daf Yomi lad yesterday. The pay Sadi Zion in Menachos. Wow. Ahmed Beis. You have to be a mathematician. And you have to have a picture of the Azorah, a drawing of the Mizbeah, or you don't know anything else on that daf. You have to know math. You have to understand about the 2 amas. Some are made of 6 tefachim, some are made of 5 tefachim. And you have to have a drawing, otherwise you don't know anything what you're talking about. Drawing of the Mizbeah. The drawing of the whole area there, 187 by 135, it was not perfect square. The chutzner. If you don't do this stuff slow, you get nothing out of it. They say Daf Yomi is like going through a train station at 80 miles an hour. You don't know, you just get a few, you don't have any idea what's going on. Daf Yomi you have to learn slow, and so Chumash. No time, only have 24 hours a day, I know. You get up early, take away for your sleep, Hashem will make it that you won't need so much sleep. You do for Him, He does for you. It works like that. Now, Yom Lashon. So, how do you answer the question? So Chazal tell us, 1 day a year they died on Tisha B'Av. Yom Lashona, 1 day a year. Yom Lashona, only 1 day a year. You need 40 years to have 40 Tisha B'Avs. When you were 60 years old, on the 60th year you died on Tisha B'Av only. So it says there, 3,550 died in 39 years. And you divide it up, it's an awful lot of people every year. I don't know, 15,000 on 1 day. Something like that. Wow. So how did they do it? They dug their graves, and on Tisha B'Av they went in, and if they survived that Tisha B'Av, they came out at the end of Tisha B'Av, and they waited for next year. Some died it seems to be they all died on their birthday year, on Tisha B'Av. Yom Lashana, 1 day a year, and therefore you need 40 years. You're going to count your Avon no Seichem. Doesn't say Avon Nechem. Your one collective sin. Avon no Seichem. The Egel and Meraglim. You're going to get to know my movements, my strategy. I keep my word. I am Hashem Dibarti Imlo. And there's a line in the Chumash. What does it mean? You would think, I am Hashem Dibarti Imlo, and if not, if I don't do this for the community, then I'm a liar. Look how it is. Ani Hashem, I am Hashem, Dibarti, I spoke. Imlo, Meseh. If I don't do this, I'm not Hashem. That's what he's telling you. Ani Hashem, Imlo. Otherwise, I'm not. That's the drasha because of the Meseh. But the pshat is, Ani Hashem Dibarti, I spoke. Imlo, Zos, Esel, Cholein, unless I do all this for the community. Hara, this wicked one. Azos Anodim who ganked up against me. But Midbar Yezazeh, and this Midbar, Yitamu, you will perish. Yitamu means mace. But show me Musa, they'll die there. Well, why can't you die here? If you perish, Shom, you'll die there. What do you mean there? Well, every day they're moving along. Every place they are, all there. Every day they're in another place. They're moving. Shom, all through the Midbar, they're dying. Well, Moshe Shlach Moshe to his orders, and the people that Moshe said to spy out the land. But Yeshua, when they came back by Yilonu, Allah, and they complained against him. Hashem is talking. He's talking about himself. Well, Moshe said, the tourists are the sur like tourists in English. The tourists are by Yeshua when they return, by Yelinu Allah, and they complained against him. Moshe. Yeah, but they really meant Hashem. Moshe, they wanted to stone him too. Moshe fell on the ground. He said, we failed. We quit. If we were really from Jews, they wouldn't gang up on us. So we must be no good. Hashem said to Moshe, don't worry. It's not your problem. They complained against Moshe, Allah, but they really mean Hashem. Moshe couldn't be a legitimate Shliach of Hashem. Hashem would never have picked a man so incapable like Moshe to bring him to a land with this giant. Moshe must be a fraud. And they wanted to stone the two agents there who didn't agree with the other 10. Kolev and Yeshua. So it's written with a Vav, and we read it with a Yud. Vav Yud. Vai. Woe on a nation that doesn't trust its rabbis. Vav. Vayilonu. They incited the people. But we read it Vayolinu. And they complain. So it's Kesiv and Kari. We have this in the Torah 100 times. We do not follow the Kesiv, the way it's written in the Torah. We do not follow Toshiv Ksav. We only follow the Masorah the way we're supposed to read it. Hashem told Moshe, write by Yilonu and read it by Yilinu. Because they wanted to tell two messages. One is by Yilonu, they incited the people, and by Yilinu they complained. So they have two ideas here. But you read it by Yilinu. How would you know how you read it by Yilinu if it's written by Yilonu? Because Hashem told Moshe. Therefore we know from this and many other examples, the way you live your life is not the Bible. The written law, we spy Tosh Val Peh. I have in my website on Torah Anytime. You ever seen it? The header? It says the 13 Ein Ani Ma'amins, the 13 things a real Torah Jew doesn't believe. And number 1, he doesn't believe in God. Number 2, he doesn't believe in the Bible. Number 3, he doesn't believe in 10 Commandments. And number 4, he doesn't believe in sacrifices. And number 5, he doesn't believe in free speech. And doesn't believe in free press. And he doesn't believe in liberty. And he doesn't believe in... okay, take a look at it. And it's on the bottom of the page says, in order not to be an apikoros, you better turn the page and find the answers to these questions. So, by Yolinu, we follow Tosha Bal Peh and override Tosha B'Ksav. I want to write it this way to tell you a certain message, but we read it this way. How would you know that if you didn't have a Masorah? Because it's written in the Torah, Vav, Yud, Lamed, Vav, Nun, Vav. And that's not how we say it. And if a person said it like that, he's wrong. Got to repeat it. By Yolinu, love you complained against him. It means Hashem. Es kol ha'id the whole community, lahosi dibo alor, to talk bad and report against the land. And they died. These people died. The 10, they died within 30 days. Which means they came back on Tisha B'Av, so they died on the 9th of Elul. Isn't that a horrible thing that happened the 9th day of the Elul is the 12th month, and Tishrei is the first month. So Av is the 9th month, right? Av is the 11th month, and Elul is the 12th month, and Tishrei is the first month according to the world year, right? So this was the 9th day of the 11th month, 9/11. Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the 11th month, and the first base of Mikdash, the second base of Mikdash also destroyed on 9/11, and Gerush Sfarad also 9/11. And Hitler made Kristallnacht on November 9th, 9/11. And in America, when you're in trouble, what number do you call? 911. Isn't that interesting? Think about that a little bit. And they died. Motzi b'dibas Ra'ah b'magefa with the plague. L'fnei Hashem, v'Yeshua ben Nun v'Kol ben Yefuna. These two people, chayu, they lived. Minhu Hashem, from all those people, they lost their olam haba and Yeshua and Kol got it. Haim are those men. Ahochel the swords who went throughout the land. And he spoke these things to the Bnei Yisrael. Yis'abolu, they were very sad now. Yis'ablu, they became Avelim. They mourned themselves. Homod, very, very much. They were very sorry. They realized the tragedy they had put themselves into. They caused these millions of people, because 603,000 was only men. What about women and children? There was 3.5 million people and 2.5 million Erev. There were 6 million people. They realized what they had just done. They had a change of mind. Now comes the Jewish nationalists who want Eretz Yisrael, even not with Hashem's Haskama. Vayeshkimu baboker, and they got up in the morning. Vayalu el Rosh Hahar, they went up the mountain. Right, the word Kodesh Barnea, right next to the bottom of Loch Hebron, the bottom of Eretz Yisrael. They went up to that place there, to Hebron. Rosh Hahar, they went to the top of the mountain. They were 12 miles northeast of Kodesh Barnea. Lamar has between, they're going up, they're saying this, they're making a statement about this. Hinani, here we are, Hashem. We made a mistake yesterday, and now we want to make it better. Never again will we be like yesterday. Weak and intimidated by giants. We have confidence. Hinani, Valina, we're going to go up. Elamokim, to the place. And Omar Hashem, the God said, you always stick in God to make yourself feel good. Omar Hashem, Ki Chotanu, we did tremendous Aveira. And now we want to do tshuva. Yom Moshe said, Lo mozeh atem ovim pi Hashem. Why are you violating God's word again? Yesterday he told you said a big Aveira, you'd be punished. And today he didn't tell you to go up. That's your idea. The second Aveira goreres Aveira. You're a Rishoyim. Lo mozeh avar ovim, you're Bali Aveira. That's pi Hashem. Again. You'll not be successful. You nationalists. You strong Jewish nationalists. Al Ta'alu, don't go up. That's number 3 warning. Ki ein Hashem b'kir b'chem. Number 4, He's not amongst you. Number 5, Lo sidnokfu, don't get smitten. B'fnei yovechem, for your enemies. Ki Amoleki v'Kanani shom b'fneichem. The Amoleki, the Kanani, is there waiting for you. You're going to fall by the sword. You're going to be slaughtered. Ki al kain shavtem, in as much as you returned, you turned away, Machri Hashem, from God. God doesn't want this, what you're doing. Rohi Hashem, God is not with you. He won't be with you. Vayapilu, and they were stubborn. That's why they call Mapilim. Rashi Yomkin says, they became Shoyim. They want Eretz Yisrael. They're so sorry of yesterday that they were weak, and they say now Hineni, we're ready to do God's wishes. And we always put God in there to make a trait for thing kosher. And we want to do it now, never again. We know we trust Hashem. Now it's too late, though. The decree has been signed. It's too late. And they were Ophel, Ayin Pei Lamed is they demanded it. And the Mepharshim tell you Aleph Pei Lamed means a darkness, a failure. You're in darkness. You don't see what's coming. You're in a failure. They were stubborn. They were so stubborn to go up to the mountain. The Oren Bris Hashem, not the one that Tzalel made with the regular luchos, the one that Moshe made for the Shivrei luchos, where usually goes ahead of the Jewish army and conquers and flattens the mountains and raises the valleys and kills the scorpions and everything and hides and has a flamethrower in front of it that shoots into the mountains there to the caves to kill everybody. Moshe. Though Moshe didn't take 1 inch, didn't move 1 inch. Be careful, Machane. By Yoreh Amaleki, and the Maleki came down, Makanani, a Yoshe Bahar that lives in the mountain. It says over here they live in the valley. And here it says, because the Amaleki and the Kanani, they live in the south of the country. They saw those Jews are coming. They were prepared. They went up in the valley to the mountain, and they're going to get them coming. They were sitting on them. When you're on top, you're going to kill the person below you. They smote them. They pounded them. Ad Charma, till they decimated them. End of subject. Now a new subject, starting about Korbanos. Who were these people? These religious fanatics. The Meraglim, like in modern times. They were the secular Zionists. They didn't want Eretz Yisrael. At the Zionist Congress in 1888, Herzl said, Uganda's a nice place. They offered it to us. So the other Zionists said, hello, Teddy, that's going too far. We were going to Palestine. That was the land of the Bible. Abraham was there. I mean, come on, Teddy. And they voted him down. That's kind of trait in the Shema yet. That's the secular Zionists. They didn't want, some of them agreed with him, didn't want Palestine. They don't need Israel. They don't need Eretz Yisrael. There's no holiness there. Secular Zionists who have it today, they are, the Tel Aviv, the yeshivas say, I know that, but they don't want no Kedusha. They don't want Yerushalayim, Yeratika, that's not their thing. Then you have the Mapilim, very religious people. Hineni, we're ready to go. Chatonu, Hashem is with us. We're going to keep Torah and mitzvahs. We're going to dress tznius. But it's not a pialach. Moshe said, you're wrong. You don't have to put your life in danger. We have 3 cardinal sins. That's not one of them. To protect a homeland with your body. Only Gilai Shuz Damavodazor. They asked Rav Shamsfeld Hirsch, Tzvi Hirsch Kalisher was a very big tzaddik, a little simple. He had long payas. Big tzaddik. He asked Rav Shamsfeld Hirsch to be the head of the Chovevei Sion. And they were very from people, and he really, really believed this. And Tzvi Hirsch Kalisher, big tzaddik, Chassidish, really thought this is our chance in 1880. This is our chance to make it kosher. I know Herzl's not from, but we'll make it kosher. To be the head of the Chovevei Sion. So he wrote a letter, it's printed in, my father printed all of Shadl's Jubas over Shamshim Hirsch. It's called Shemesh Marpe. Shemesh, Shamshim Hirsch. And it's printed there right in the front, the first cover, in the cover. The letter of Tzvi Hirsch Kalisher to Rav Shamshim Hirsch. He wants to make him the president of the Chovevei Sion. Shamshim Hirsch was a tzaddik yesod olam, so kanoi today he would be a Satmar. He said to him, he said, L'kovod harav, didn't give his name, nothing. At the end of the letter, he wouldn't sign his own name. He says, in Hebrew there, but if you read it in English, what to you is a big mitzvah, to us is not a little aveira. We're interested in making the Jews of Europe from, and Mashiach will come automatically, we'll get the land free. We don't have to go there and fight off the goyim. We have to be in Galut, Torah and Yerushalayim. No cheating, no lying, no stealing, no assimilation. Shomer Torah mitzvah, Mashiach will come, we'll have everything free. He didn't have that. He didn't get it. He didn't understand. What to you is a big mitzvah, to us not a small affair. Can you imagine? Rav Shamshul here's Chovevei Sion. It's like putting a Satmar Rebbe ahead of the Jewish National Fund or something. I mean, it's just unthinkable. He didn't understand what Shamshul Hirsch. But when they saw one of the Salanters met with Shamshul Hirsch, he says, Gan Eden isn't big enough for him. What it's about giving it, the Imre Amos told my father, he says, Harsh is given a living Musar Sefer. His life was perfect. Musar Sefer. Even though the Imre Amos was Ger, they had completely different shittas about Torah and Derech. But the man, he said, was totally sincere. He's a living Musar Sefer. The Imre Amos. Tzaddikim have a far view. They can see way out what's going to be. So now we're finished with this. The Mapilim were very stubborn. They were very religious nationalists. But they didn't go al pi Torah, ho amiti, and they were ready to be most nefesh for this. Barak al pi Torah fi shitosam. Zeh keneged Moshe u'Mosorim Hashem. Now I want to tell you something that will shock you out of your wits. It says, Moshe says, don't go up there now. V'hi lo titzlach. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to be successful. V'hi says right here, v'hi. This attempt will not be successful. Pasuk Mamale. This will blow your mind. V'hi lo titzlach. V'hi lo. He not, but the Asid Lavo in the future, but if we said the Mashiach in later days, like we live in now, Yeh Matzliach, these stubborn people will be Matzliach. Kamo Zeh, just like we see today, the last 63 years, or even more, since 1888, when they started this movement of return to Zion. But chutzpah kineged, because they had a chutzpah, you say, the Namaran people will have a tremendous nerve and total sincerity to build the land. They'll die in the process. They meant it sincerely. They're good people. But there was a chutzpah kineged Ratzon Hashem, which means these people, the original, there were many from them, Talmidi Hagra, and the real old Yishalmis, but there were some there that wanted a secular state. They wanted a secular state. And he said, they will be Matzliach in the future world. Who said this? Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen, in the Sefer Tzidkas Tzadik. This time you will not be Matzliach. But also love you will be Matzliach. Even though it's connected to Hashem, because he did it with complete Mesiras Nefesh. That seems to be a tikkun for the Meraglim. Those people who came with Mesiras Nefesh, I know about the Hachsha, what do they call it there? Shoma HaTzair, they ate Chazon on Yom Kippur, I know about that. But they meant it with such Mesiras Nefesh to build the country. But Tzadok HaKohen says, in Nikas the Mashiach, there will be B'chutzpah, you say, tremendous amount of nerve, but determination, they will be Matzliach, you see today. Tzadok HaKohen wrote it, I don't know, 1900, 1890. Because that seems to be a tikkun, a kapara for the Meraglim. We're not afraid. We're going to go under the Ottomans, under the British Machsham, and under kill so many Yidden, and then we're going to take the land. Even we live under the Goyim, we don't care. We want to have Eretz HaKadosh. We're going to give our life. Like they were so sincere about it. Okay, Rabbi Yisai, we're finished with Ashir, and we hope next week to see you again. If it's Hashem, no Yom Tovim coming up until I don't know. And then stay well, everybody, and maybe Matzliach and happy and be good. And until next week, I wish you all a great week with Torah and Yerushalayim and Yerushalayim, everything. Now, I say goodbye to you.